Screen Radar presents Film Dorks.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the latest Film Dorks. I'm Tom.
I'm Nick.
I'm Lucas.
I'm Bridget.
I'm Emilia.
Hey, look, we got a whole gang today.
We
There's
do.
a whole bunch of us.
Got some new people.
And
Packing them in.
you can see some of these people on other Screen Radar greats, such as The Verse. And that's another podcast that's that we're all kicking out here. But today on Film Dorks, we're talking about going back to the movies and
Again, we're going back to the movies again because we did that last time, but we can go, so we keep going.
And go while
and
you can, because who knows what's coming with lockdown. So catch it while you can.
I don't even put my brain there. It'll melt.
Don't say the L word.
I'll have a fucking meltdown right on this podcast. I have concert tickets. I want to fucking go. I don't care. Don't care if it kills.
Well, my brother, who's vaccinated, got COVID.
I know.
But because he's vaccinated, he was like sick. It did hit him. Like he lost his smell and had a low grade fever, but he's like already on the mend. So like, that's the thing is like, get your vaccinations. Even if maybe you get sick, like you're going to be okay and you can go to the movies.
Yeah.
And you
go to the movies.
It's the summer of getting vaxxed and waxed, okay? Take care of yourselves, people.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
I feel like it would be like 40-year-old virgin scene for me if that ever happened.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Exactly.
totally.
Self-care.
Self-care.
Nobody ever needs to see that.
But all right, so on a note of ripping off the Band-Aid or the hot wax, what's the movies we're covering today?
Well, we're covering a bunch.
Well, there's a bunch of new movies that are out. They've probably, some of them have been on deck for a while, including ones that were in Sundance last year.
That's what's so weird, man. It's like, it's such an interesting time.
We're going to be talking about 2 really big movies and 3 really small movies. We're going with Black Widow, The Tomorrow War, Censor, Zola, and Pig.
And I'm excited to talk about all of these for many reasons. And one of the interesting things to notice, though, is 2 of these films are $200 million budgets.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are under five. Under 5.
Yeah.
And
under 5.
Hashtag equality.
The other 3 movies combined don't even make up the craft services budget for the first 2.
Yeah.
Although I bet the craft service on Pig was pretty darn good.
I bet there's 1 second in any one of those movies that cost more. 1 second of film that cost more in both of those movies than the last 3.
Then the voice training
Then
the voice training that went into their accents for Black Widow.
Yeah.
True though.
I have to believe that was intentional.
Well, I have a good tidbit article I read that I'll bring to that discussion about.
Why don't we start
dive
with
in.
Black Widow?
Now, here's the thing. Has everyone already been back to the movies?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was your first movie? You saw Black Widow, Emilia?
Oh yes, but my first movie in theaters was F9.
Yeah.
No, mine was Nobody.
Nobody's a good choice.
Odenkirk, right?
Couldn't we have reviewed that one on this? I guess it's not, or it's too late.
But
we did already. Yeah.
They did. They have a whole YouTube video on it.
Yeah, you were
there?
trotting around. No,
they edited it. They sat down.
Oh no, I did. I watched that. I liked it on YouTube. I commented probably too. So never mind.
Sure, Lucas.
Listen, if it's in the past, I don't have rear view mirrors, man. I just go forward.
It's all right. It's all right.
You were trotting around Oregon or
I think I was
or some shit.
That's true. So
my dog is cleaning my feet right now.
Oh my god, Nick.
I can't say the same.
Can't
He's
relate.
so weird.
So I did Black Widow. I did talk about this recently, but Black Widow was my first movie back in theaters ever. So it might not have been my favorite Marvel movie of all time, but I'm like forever gonna have this like
special.
Yeah, emotional attachment to it because it's like my first movie in theaters and like probably almost 2 years now.
And what was
Like,
the context? How did you see it?
I saw it with my family while I was on vacation down in Disney. So we actually saw it at the Disney movie theater in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. And they
Nice.
had like a whole premiere carpet rolled out with like big fat heads of all the actors that you could go take pictures with. And it was quite
it was an event. That sounds amazing.
It was an event. So my dad was like, oh, they knew we were coming. And, you know, corny dad jokes, you know, they rolled out the red carpet for us. But it was awesome. It was so beyond worth it to see in theaters. I can't even describe it. And we did enjoy it so much that my sister did eventually purchase it on Disney Plus. So they got all of our money from every end.
Yeah, they've really been hurting, so I'm glad you gave them a little stimulus.
Yeah,
I know. I felt bad. It's my donation for the year. I'm gonna
you know, they had to close their parks for like a couple of minutes there.
Yeah,
probably cost them millions.
It would be great to think that maybe it went to like the workers, but never mind.
What workers?
Yeah, at the Disney parks when they close it down.
I will say, so I was just at the parks, and they have not brought back any shows, parades, or anything that
like
involves
the live shows,
performances.
Wow.
None of that is back. They haven't hired back any of those people, and they still only do characters and costumes from a distance. Like,
see, I was recently at the one in California, and
Disneyland,
and it was pretty much open.
Yeah,
like,
I would say if Florida was pretty much open.
Yeah, but there's a difference though. The vaccination rates in California are way higher, and also it's a much smaller park. There's like even the max capacity is not going to be as big as in Florida's. Disney World's enormous. Anyway,
yes, it's huge.
Either way,
for amusement parks, it's absurd.
But that sounds weird. That sounds like post-apocalyptic music park in some way, or amusement park. You know what I mean? They're like nobody was there. It was like
nobody was there.
There's people like zombies.
It's been closed for 40 years.
That's right.
That's true. And I know we're not talking about that film tonight, but it was quite cool to be there at the time that Black Widow was premiering, and also the Jungle Cruise, like another big summer blockbuster with The Rock.
Well, I'm gonna see that one in the theater.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
There's a review up of it on ScreenRadar.com though.
I didn't read it because I didn't want to get it spoiled.
Yeah, right.
Fuck
you,
Steve.
Don't get that spoiled.
It looks to me like it's like it could have alternately been titled Pirates of Jumanji.
It did look like
is
Jumanji.
An incredible crossover. I mean, I love everything about that. Time you just sold me.
So
anyway,
Black
Widow. For a $200 million Disney movie, I was kind of surprised that like some of the subject matter was pretty heavy in this. I mean,
Black Widow,
I mean, comic book people will know that Natasha Romanoff is Black Widow, and there's this whole history with the Avengers and all that stuff. But this movie covers like her origins, sort of, and the main part of the plot takes place after the Avengers Civil War movie,
but before
and obviously, and before the inevitable death of Black Widow, which happens in Endgame. It was kind of weird watching this as an action movie, knowing that like, I mean, there's literally no way she's gonna die because she's in other movies that take place after this. So it kind of like ruined the stakes for me. That being said, I thought the opening scene where she's very young and they have to escape with this like whatever secret info. I thought that was really well done, and they like, you know, made it pretty tense, and it was a good way to start off this movie. And then everything else happened.
That's true. But the opening scene with the young Natasha and Yelena, the actress who played young Natasha, I mean, she kind of like stole the entire first part of that film. I thought that
the kids were wonderful. The whole family
like,
when they were younger was the best part.
Specifically that scene where they like have their big daring escape on the airplane, and then, you know, they reach the new base and she like grabs the guard's gun and is like screaming, protecting her little sister. Like that was a really great scene. I
and
mean,
even
really nailed that.
And the escape on the plane where Barber's on the wing and they're like, you know, he's shooting off the wing. It was like really tense, and the action was really well done. Like I felt like the opening scene definitely started at a level that I do feel like they didn't really hit afterwards.
maybe not, but it didn't really feel like that much of a Marvel film.
No,
it
not
was,
in the
It
slightest.
was just a big action extravaganza, and
Like
I
a
thought
spy
they kind of
movie,
nailed it
Yeah.
on that level.
The only
Like,
thing that I thought that was kind of funny with that was like, so they take off and David Harbour's hanging off the wing, right?
Yeah.
They didn't fly all the way to Cuba with him on the wing, right?
Didn't
'Cause,
they?
I mean, he
I wondered
No,
the
he
same
got
question.
inside.
He did
No,
climb
they
in.
had to have pulled
Oh.
him in.
he must have
but you-
climbed in.
He's like a
He's,
Did you get
superhero,
hung
though.
up on that?
Yeah, he's
I'm
GM.
like, no,
Captain
he's just
America.
hanging off the side of the wing shooting dudes, but you're hung up on the fact that he got out of the plane and they didn't show him get in. Like, come on.
I'm more hung up on the fact that he does all that and it's really impressive, and then he proceeds to do nothing else useful for the entire film.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Except for be just a dipshit. Like,
He can arm
literally.
wrestle.
he just turns into a Ray Romano character.
He just bullies
But
some prisoners.
I was mildly entertained by that, to be honest. Like,
It was
know-
interesting, yeah. Like how normally you would expect him to actually do something heroic, and they're like, nah.
no,
he's
but
just
he was
fun to have
totally
around.
useless. It was funny.
That is actually.
And I really enjoyed Florence Pugh in this film.
Oh,
Dude,
she was
she-
incredible.
It's amazing to see a star start hitting
She was-
everything at the right time,
yeah,
and I feel
she-
like she
she
is
was-
the one to watch.
She was great in this
Yeah,
movie, and that woman is so beautiful. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It took me way too long to realize that she was the main character in Midsummer.
Midsummer?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
totally
Such
different. Absolutely,
different
completely
roles.
different
Oh,
character. Yeah.
well,
So
can I
I
tell
didn't
you-
really. There was like,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. I figured it out
It
about
could have been
halfway
two
through.
different people.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
She's impressive. That woman is
Well,
someone to watch. She's
it's-
fucking talented.
I think that she stole the show for this film, but also too, it actually caused me to go back and watch a bunch of her old movies. So I actually just watched Midsummer for the first time this past
Oh,
weekend.
you hadn't seen it?
Yeah, I had
Oh,
not
hell yeah.
seen it.
Oh.
Oh, let me tell you, I could
That's a
dedicate a whole
brutal one.
podcast just to that movie.
Well, you're on
But
the right
I had already-
podcast, Film Dorks. We
Yes,
covered
I
that
know,
shit.
I know. I had already seen like Little Women and like a couple other films that she had been in, but like I mean, it caused me to like really want to like do a whole like backlog of like all
Yeah.
that she's been in, because what she's been in the past 3-4 years is like so impressive and like honestly
Mhm.
extensive, like huge films.
Yeah. And
Uh,
what's so interesting about this one though is that like Scarlett Johansson, who I think is one of the better actresses working today, like she's in so much shit and never gets enough accolades. Like she was in Marriage Story last year. She
got 2 Oscar nods.
yeah, but
in
she's
the same
never
year.
but she's never really considered like this like incredible actress
know.
because she's always so good at being there for the rest of the cast. She's never like outperforming anybody. She's just doing her role and being a really good actor to play off of. So like in some ways, because of that, she gets sidelined all the time, especially when it comes to awards. You know what I mean? So
She got some flack, right, a couple years ago because she like took on some roles that people
Yeah.
didn't approve of.
Yeah.
what was
And
that? Have you seen her Under the Skin? She's fucking great in Under the Skin. It's such a creepy sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
that
one.
was an
You know
incredible
what
film.
I just learned too, and I guess I didn't really know this. I didn't know that she played the voice in Her.
Yeah. That's what I
With-
mean. She's in so
Whoa.
much stuff and
Joaquin
she's
Phoenix.
just
I had no idea.
no, but she gets so like forgotten about, and it's so bizarre
Yeah.
because like I feel like that's what's gonna happen now is you're gonna see Florence Pugh is gonna like just go gangbusters and take all the roles she would have ScarJo would have gotten, and instead
God.
like it's kind of fucked up. Like, and this is Black Widow, it's supposed to be her biggest, this is like her movie she finally got, and if this came out when it should have, which was like between Civil War and Infinity War, I think it would have finally like helped cement her and her character as like something that's that big and marketable. Instead, it's like kind of an afterthought. It's odd. It's kind of a fucked up thing to happen to a like one of the Hollywood's biggest actors is kind of gets shit on. Anyway, sorry, ScarJo. We love you.
Was
I-
she
I-
in,
Lucas
Ghost
really
in the
loved
Don't
it.
take a
I
role.
do.
Don't take a role as a trans man when you're a cis woman. Is what we've learned.
Oh wait, what one was that?
That was like 3 years ago. She was gonna play a trans man in a film, and then she got a whole bunch of flack for it,
Oh, then she didn't even
and-
take the
Oh,
role.
okay.
and she ended up dropping out
Was
of
it
it.
Was it Charlize Theron that was in Ghost in the Shell?
No, that was
That was her.
It was also
That was
ScarJo,
her.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
got
yeah.
flack for
That
that one
also
too.
didn't go over well.
No.
I didn't even
Yeah.
see that one because I knew it was gonna be awful.
Yeah, it wasn't a good
Oh
movie.
yeah, I mean
anyways.
she got a lot of shit for whitewashing that movie too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
That
she
being
sadly
said, I
only
mean,
got a $200 million budget movie to star in. But she was the least
made
interesting part of the whole film.
She
so.
made at least 25 million off of this movie and possibly 30 million.
So I hope her pillow she's crying in is like gold plated. Anyway.
Honestly, yeah.
I'm not worried about
But
it.
you said, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say you had made a point when you first introduced Black Widow is that this film did hit on a lot of like pretty serious points, and I think like I was pretty astounded and I mean glad to see like there make a stand on like sex trafficking in many ways. I mean that was the overarching theme of the whole film, and to have that be in the theme of a $200 million blockbuster Marvel film, I was like, I appreciate that. Now,
yeah, I like this
granted,
movie.
they could do more for it, but I liked it.
They were like a couple of steps away from really accomplishing something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I guess being a Disney movie is like they're not really there to like get down to brass tacks or anything.
Moralize
like,
for you.
Right.
Yeah, if it gets too close to the nose, they hire another writer to move it farther away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
trust me,
the
I know how
helicopter
this shit
scene
works. I do it every day.
Yeah.
The helicopter scene where she's talking about explaining to her dad what a hysterectomy is and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was like one of the best
I
scenes in the whole
that
film.
scene.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Whoever came up with the concept to have them do it like with the big headphones on, like they were talking through like the microphone, that was perfect. Like that was so funny. It was just like that one extra element that.
But
really
it does show you that like
made it land.
If they were too serious about it, it wouldn't have landed as well. You probably would have been like, wow, that feels forced and shoehorned. Instead, they made it absurd and weird and funny, and it actually worked way better, like dramatically, for it to be done that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I thought that's why the drama hit was because the comedy felt organic.
Yeah.
And it was. I mean, sometimes it was a little goofy, but overall, it was character centered and came, and I thought it worked well. I was just surprised by this movie because I really thought I didn't really care about seeing it. I'm really fucking tired of superhero movies, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
And this one getting sidelined before COVID, I'm just like, whatever. But so my expectations were low, so I think it certainly exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, honestly, Nick too, as a big Marvel fan, my expectations were also very low going into this film, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. Like,
yeah, me too.
Way more than I thought I would.
You mentioned that Florence Pugh stole the show, and she kind of literally did steal the show in one way. That she was the one that ad-libbed the like making fun of Black Widow's like landing moves and all that stuff.
Oh, that was
ad-libbed.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Those parts all made me laugh.
Yeah, you were
like
funny.
Sorry.
So by the way,
didn't laugh too.
I listened. I read this article on a dialect coach who was like going through all the different accents that they did and judging them, and she was saying Florence Pugh's was spot on. She's like, I don't know who our dialect coach was, but like, damn, she really is doing a certain part of Russia. They're like, oh, she must be from Ukraine or this area, and was pointing out all the ways she did it well, which is not just in how she was doing the accent, but also it was never like, it was just a part of the character where you could tell she was like incorporating into her speech, but she didn't make it dominate her speech, where some people overdo the accents. Anyway, and it was really fascinating because I was like, how she approached doing the dialogue also approached how her performance was, where I felt like she knew exactly who her character was. She knew the humor balanced with the drama. And like, I think she had the best performance for that reason as well, where she had the funniest moments, but also the biggest dramatic, effective dramatic moments too. So yeah, I think she did nail this role.
All hail Le Pew.
Yeah, man. I want to see her more stuff.
Disney could have solved that whole issue with Pepe Le Pew. They could have made it Florence Le Pew. And
make it a
Pepe
female.
could have been
Gender swap.
Yeah, no, transitioned.
Okay. But Pepe's not Disney though. Boom. That's the problem. Pepe's not Disney.
No, it is now.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Everything is.
Everything is owned by Disney.
All hail Disney.
Everything.
I made a prediction recently that says by this time next decade.
But
thank you.
By this time next decade, we'll all be praying to Disney.
Yeah, Disney's gonna buy. Amelia had what was it that they're gonna get the rights to the Bible, and then we're gonna be
awesome.
We're gonna have Jesus Christ superstars.
Oh my gosh! Honestly, there probably is.
Sexy Jesus from Hamlet 2. Anybody ever seen Hamlet 2?
Yes.
Nobody's seen this.
It's a funny. Well, that's a
genius.
That dude from Britain. Anyway,
I do expect Jesus to be like very ripped. You know, I don't know why.
You should watch Hamlet too.
Yeah.
Starring
Hamlet
Steve
too.
Coogan.
Oh, Coogan,
and
yeah, it's fucking Coogan. It's great.
Coogan,
yeah.
Elizabeth Shue, and David.
It's a little too
Arquette,
cerebral
and-
for the American humor.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's fucking hysterical. Awesome
Hamlet
musical
too,
moments
interesting.
with Jesus.
Hamlet too, yeah, it's pretty funny. Okay,
Yeah.
I think we
Okay,
Alright,
so
so
let's
let's-
so the Tomorrow War.
Yeah.
There's also another giant $200 million budgeted
did we all see it?
blockbuster that didn't go to the
Yes.
movie theaters. I
Yes.
guess it just
Was this in the
No.
theaters?
Well, it was supposed to go to the theaters. Paramount was supposed to put it out in December of 2019, and then they pushed it, and it was supposed to then come out in like April of 2020, and then
And
everything
then
shut down,
down.
and so they, in a panic, they sold it off to Amazon, I think.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Amazon just put it
For
as
pennies on the
Amazon.
Bezos, they sold it to
I
Amazon.
don't know if it was really even had a theatrical run. This one, I think it was just direct.
No, I think it was
There's my
direct
dog.
stream to streaming service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did we all watch it?
and
But,
rightly so.
Yes.
I did. I finished
Yes.
it like an hour ago.
I couldn't finish it. I tried, man. I couldn't do it.
So
Tomorrow
long.
bore.
No,
I kind
I
of liked
don't
it.
think
It
it was
to be honest.
boring.
no,
I
I
think
thought
it
it was
was
a fun
boring.
movie. I think it was a fun summer blockbuster film.
It
Like,
would have been a
I-
lot better in theaters.
Yeah, it would have been so much better in theaters. I personally enjoyed it the one time I will probably
If it was
watch
in
it.
theaters,
It would
I
have
would
been
have
better
gotten
on
up
my
like
Apple
20
Watch
times.
in the restroom of an like 7,000 feet up in the sky.
Oh my god.
I hated this
In
film.
an
I should say I
airplane.
hated it because I didn't finish it, so that's unfair. But
Because I had the chicken cordon bleu, and that was a no.
No. Okay.
Noted.
Fair.
always get the
Well,
fish, Nick. Have you watched
so-
Airplane?
Yes. So
Um,
the thing with this film, so it stars Chris Pratt and
that's a great
Yvonne
cast. Who else?
Strahovski,
Yeah.
J.K.
Yeah.
Simmons, Betty
Betty Gilpin, totally underused, but yes.
She was great.
Mhm. And I
And
enjoyed
Gail
it.
the Snail's in this.
Yes.
Yes.
Fucking great
yes.
goddamn cast.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And
My
they also
beef-
underused her.
Yes,
They
every
did, they
single
did.
character was
Listen,
underused.
they
Let's do
Too
it.
soon.
underused. Listen. My biggest beef. Okay. Also, I'm like ranting as I have a $10 Amazon gift card in my hand because it's the only thing sitting on my desk. All Amazon. My biggest beef with this film is like all the trailers, all the press conferences, interviews were like hyping up the Chris Pratt, J.K. Simmons on-screen duo. Like that's what I kept seeing everywhere. Like J.K. Simmons gonna have this super huge charged role, yada yada. He's in like 10 minutes of the film, like literally 10 minutes. Him coming in at the end of the
Okay.
film. He's in the beginning, and then he comes in.
He's a very convenient character.
Yeah,
Convenient character
and how much
in
you
the
want to
last
bet he's
10
going to
minutes
be
of
on a
the film.
GNC commercial soon?
Oh.
Well, he was like ripped in that one.
No,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing they were talking
Oh,
about.
I
Oh,
mean-
how we got so in shape for this film and yada yada.
So
He has one
stupid.
action sequence.
There was no
Uh-huh.
need for him to put in
One.
all that work.
No,
No.
not at all. Not at
Well,
all.
I mean, just so y'all know, I mean, I worked with him on Whiplash in 2014.
That's
And
incredible.
All
was
hail
ripped-
Whiplash.
He was ripped then, and
You
So
have
he's
to be
just
that
ripped-
ripped, but to beat up
he was supposed to
emotionally
be
a
in some
child,
Mar-
to be that ripped.
like he was supposed to be in some other like DC Marvel type movies. I mean, obviously he played Jonah Jameson,
Right.
but he was supposed to be like another major character that was supposed to have like some muscles. And there's some images out on the web of him like working out. And,
Oh,
like,
with him and the
his-
weights
Yeah.
in his hand.
He's got,
it's
like, he's got like Arnold Schwarzenegger arms.
he's got like
Nice.
a huge
Yeah, he's a
beard.
beast.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like
The big tomorrow
honestly,
war.
it's funny because he voices Omni-Man in the Amazon's Invincible, and
Another
like that is a
fantastic
scary,
performance.
that is a scary character.
One of the
for
scariest
animation.
heroes in any
Yeah.
film ever.
Yeah, but
Scary.
he also voices the yellow M&M in the M&M commercials.
Right.
That's
the
true.
most terrifying Eminem.
Right. But it was
I
funny
broke a
because
tooth on it. Look.
oh my god, Lucas. Because watching Invincible, I'm like, oh, maybe he just got ripped to really into
Capture the
character
voice.
for like
That's
to
kinda
get the
what I
voice, like get the
kinda
rage.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
But
right.
hang
I
on.
have muscles in my
Sidebar,
neck.
Tom, you worked with
Yes.
that's buried the lead there. Worked with J.K. Simmons on Whiplash. I know we're not talking about this movie. What was he like offset? Did he transition out of character very smoothly? Was he
No,
was
no, he
super-
was scary.
He's scary. Okay.
Tiptoeing around JK. I get it.
Yeah, no, he was very intense.
Emily, I don't think you know you're on a podcast with an Oscar winner. I think that's also what you're missing here. So yay, Tom.
And Nick is like Oscar the Grouch, so you kind of have like 2 Oscars.
You kind of have the best of both worlds.
Double Oscars.
No, but so we were talking about the cast on this film, and so what is the name of the dude who's was in Veep, who's the comic relief in this?
Oh yes.
Who is that guy? He
I didn't
fucking
put his
cracks
name
me
down.
up. I'm gonna find out right
That guy reacts to danger the way that I would.
Yeah, he's like the best part of everything he's in all the time. So
Sam
he was like
Richardson.
Sam
Yeah,
Richardson
Sam
was
Richardson.
he was
I
a
just saw him
replacement in Veep.
We're not reviewing it, but I just saw Werewolves Within as well.
Oh, he's a lead in that, right?
Yes.
Fuck. All right. Yeah, I got to see that. I love the director too.
We'll talk about it in
who
another
did
cast.
Scare Me or whatever. Anyway, that deserves another podcast. But no, but he is literally the best thing. Everything he's in, he's the best part of it. And so Veep, he was like a mid-season replacement. Like halfway through the series, they had him like as a guest star that they never could get rid of because he was the best part. And anyway, so seeing him, like every scene he was in this film made me want to watch the film. And then when he wasn't on the screen, I kind of got bored of the film.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the premise isn't crazy.
Definitely,
I mean, the premise is crazy, but they had a good premise for this movie.
Yeah,
kinda
I agree.
is.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed the plot line.
Fucked it all up. Like seriously, the idea of
Agreed.
untrained soldiers, you're just like, I suddenly now have to be a soldier and go to war with aliens and the whole human race is gonna die. Like, is a cool idea.
But here's the thing.
But there was no. It didn't feel like there was any
fucking
stakes.
time machine.
There's no stakes.
They have a time machine. So like,
But they have.
instead of
It's a river.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Like,
more they
could
try to
send-
explain it, the angrier I got.
Yeah.
They
Time,
could
Listen,
time
send,
is
they
like
could
an
have
arrow.
sent, they could have sent blueprints back with the original people and been like, "Here's our shitty time machine. Like, you have 30 years to make a better
But
time
the
machine."
time, you see, the time it flies like a
But
fruit flies like an arrow. Fruit flies. Like,
yeah, whatever.
You get it. You get it.
I don't like.
So,
But
Oh my god.
but the more they
Just
try to
throwing-
explain shit in this movie, the
You know,
more
but,
annoying it got.
But the
They're
other
just
thing
throwing
is this whole
bodies at
movie
these
is
aliens,
all exposition. They
Yeah.
explain
Yeah.
everything,
Exactly.
yet none of it fucking matters or makes sense. Like they spend an hour and a half doing this ridiculous amount of backstory to the point where when they were using it later in the film, I was like, shut your fucking mouth
don't
and blow
explain-
something up.
They don't explain like the most important things.
I know.
like-
Oh, for sure.
It's ridiculous.
Why
It's a
don't Chris
movie
Pratt
all with
leave?
exposition that doesn't matter at all.
Wait, so like, what was the Tom Cruise one? Like Tomorrow Never Dies Forever. What was the one that is such a good film?
Tomorrow
It's a
Never
James Bond
Dies.
movie.
Yeah.
No, but it's like the day after
Mission
tomorrow
Impossible.
never
Day
dies.
after
Live, die,
tomorrow.
repeat.
Yeah.
was the one?
Live, die, repeat.
Oh,
was
it was Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Literally,
That's a great movie.
that's
does
the
Emily's
good
line.
version of this
Well.
film. That's like
Yes.
the good version of this film.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
like I feel like
Absolutely.
what that
No.
movie did well was it threw you
Stop
into
it.
it. They just threw you into the madness and you were just living in it with Tom Cruise. Then they sort of were explaining it as it was going. So you suddenly start figuring things out and you'd be like, get rewarded for paying attention. This film, they're like, let's spend the first 20 minutes telling you everything. And like, but not really, but not enough, but enough for you to be like, what the
You
fuck are
get dumber for
Yeah.
paying attention
Yeah,
in this
so-
film.
And so like there was no emotional stakes and I kept questioning everything. They're like, but why then? And the last thing you want
I
to do is
know.
have your audience be like checking their watch, being like, wait, why is this happening? Like it had no
Yeah.
momentum. It had no rationality to it.
Why is this movie still on?
And then you get Betty Gilpin, who's one of my favorite actors. And you make her this annoying, weird
They do nothing.
wife
with
who does
her.
nothing. Like, did she ever come back in
Yeah.
the film?
No.
Besides the
No.
beginning?
No.
At
Like,
the end, I
She's
mean,
like-
yeah,
she's at the
she's-
end. She
Have you
has a
seen The Hunt?
tearful Reunion.
Have you seen The
Yes.
Hunt with her?
Yes.
Like again, like great performance that still can't save a movie. Like I feel like somebody just needs to just do her a fucking solid and give her a good role in a good movie by fucking
well,
Lord.
it was
just do
it was interesting because like I really liked Yvonne Strahovski's role. I like her in what I'm trying to say Maiden. What's the
Made in
TV
America.
show?
Iron
No.
Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
No. Oh my god.
Made to order.
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
Oh.
Thank you.
Wow, that was just a guess. Like,
The Iron Maiden's tale.
Is it-
The Iron Maiden's Tale. There you go. And I enjoyed her character, but Nick is so right. Like it was like it was just like the whole plot line got like beaten like a dead horse to the point it was nauseating.
And then you didn't care.
You didn't care. And then they crammed
really
so much like everything in the last 10 minutes of the film. Like they go back to like where Chris Pratt taught, and like the kid who just likes volcanoes, who was in 20 seconds at the beginning of the film.
I know. Like, what is the
wow? I'm so glad I didn't finish this.
He literally solved the whole problem of the Tomorrow War. Like he literally solved it. Like, and I'm like, that kid was no one.
They were like, the reason that it has to be our crack team of idiots is because like, if you get the U.S. government involved, you get any governments involved, like everything's gonna fall apart. They're gonna fuck it up, and then they go in and they come like pretty close to fucking it up multiple times.
Everything about this, I hated everything about this movie. I really did. I didn't like it at all.
They end.
Oh,
they end this movie 3 times at least.
Yes.
Like
that's it. What's the point?
Well, I got to tell you,
Simmons,
53
Dad, please
minutes
help
in.
me. Okay, and to move me. Like
at 53 minutes in, I checked the runtime and it said there was still an hour and 20 minutes left, and I was like, that's an entire film. I'm like, there's an entire film left in this film that I already don't like, and that's when I just pulled the ripcord. It's like, I can't watch this.
Good for you, Lucas. Good for you.
Yeah.
I commend you, sir. I didn't do that, and I regretted it at the end.
Yeah, and also too, I'm still like not sure how I feel about Chris Pratt, because like I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
Thank you for saying that.
But like he's playing the same character. It's him. His character Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy is like the same as this character in Jurassic Park, which is the same as this character in the Tomorrow War. And I'm just like, can we see?
I thought they were
some
gonna
like
go
other
like
performance.
It's like they underused Betty Gilpin and J.K. Simmons. They kind of overused Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Chris Prattiness.
Yeah, I just
they underused Mary Lynn Rexcub too.
Who dat?
Oh, they underused everyone.
Is that Gail the Snail?
Yeah.
Who's Gail the Snail? I love her so much.
She's a stand-up comic.
Yeah, what is she the one from It's All Sunny? And then, she's like so fucking awesome. Every time she pops up in something, I'm like, again, like you're right. Oh, the people that should have gotten more screen time didn't. And Chris Pratt is a terrible leading actor unless it's like a comedy. Like he's a fine comedy action star, but that's like, all he's got.
I love him in Parks and Rec. I'm a big Parks and Rec
comedy,
fan, but like
comedy action. His range is like real narrow, and that's
that's why he works in Guardians, because it's a comedic role.
Exactly, you know? Comedic action role, and like he can do that.
Jurassic Park.
Nah. Well, the thing is, the new Jurassic Parks aren't horror movies, which is why they suck. But it's also they should be but it's because that's why they're like comedic action movies now, and so he works in that role.
Right.
But guys, let's move on from this.
Let's move on.
Wait. One note, and I know you guys are gonna be so excited because there's gonna be a Tomorrow War 2.
Yeah.
They're
gonna take all the stuff they couldn't fit in the first movie.
It's going to be called the Yesterday War.
It's going to be called the
Day. It's going to be 5 hours long.
There's actually a really amazing sci-fi book called Forever War that's online. So many people, like idiots like me, thought when Tomorrow War came out or was coming out, it was actually they made Forever War. And so all the buzz on these sci-fi channels were like, they finally did it. They did the Forever. And they was like, nah, man, it's got Chris Pratt. It's called Tomorrow War. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Fuck that movie.
Here we are.
And we are moving on
to Censor.
Yeah, censor yourself, Lucas.
Okay, I will. I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen Censor. So tell me all about
Bailey Bond's film. This is their first feature outing, a horror movie. It's definitely, I would say, like kind of delves into the psychedelic horror a little bit. It's a real weird one. It's an art house horror film. I'm not even going to try to explain the plot really, because
I mean, it's not that hard.
Go ahead, Tom. Like, maybe you can. You go ahead.
The thing that you have to know is in Britain in the 80s, they implemented a censorship board to protect the people of the UK from video nasties, which were these horrible, just ultra violent horror movies that were really explicit, and Britain felt the need to protect the people by censoring these films, and so they developed a board of people that were to watch all of these films and decide what was allowed and what was not allowed, and they
Right.
would make the filmmakers cut out everything. So this movie is about Enid, one of the censors, who is just every single day at work, she just watches these
The
ridiculously
worst,
violent
most
films.
disturbing shit you've ever seen.
Which is
All
like
day long.
And
like people on Reddit now who do that shit. Anyway.
right, yeah, but I mean, now there's no rules, but anyway, so like she's exposed to this stuff literally every single day, and it's kind of fucking with her mind. But also at home, she has a sister who has been missing for a long time, like since they
Right.
were like preteens, and the parents have basically decided to have her declared dead. They've never found her, and then she sees a film that very closely resembles her last recollections of when she was with her sister, and that starts unraveling all this crazy shit that she starts trying to look for her again, and people are thinking that she's losing her mind, and then it gets into some really dark stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's a twisted fucking movie.
I'm
for
getting
sure.
shades.
Yeah.
I was watching the trailer while you were
Italian
talking, Tom.
horror.
Yeah, it has shades of like Videodrome, has shades of 8mm, of like
Yep.
God, this looks really creepy and interesting.
It's awesome. It's actually a really great film. It's really challenging. The more it goes on, the more it challenges you. You know.
Yeah, and there's a character that's like I guess a recurring actor in these video nasties that is known as Beast Man, and he's
Yeah.
played by an actor named Guillaume
and he's a
Delannoy
weird looking
or
dude,
something.
right?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
know
mean,
that
he
guy.
kind of
Oh, he's
looks
huge.
he was
Yeah.
in Victor Frankenstein, and he kind of looks like a mixture between like Ray Romano's brother and the guy that played Jaws in the 007
Mhm.
movies.
Yeah, totally.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, they did like it's not a big budget movie by any means. I would say
No.
maybe $3 million. They do a really good job of making like the VHS stuff look really legit. The lighting is really moody.
Yeah, it's got a lot of
Um,
style and
yeah, the
mood
characters
and
are all like
tone.
sufficiently creepy
Nice,
and like
yeah.
low
Yeah.
key.
It's super Italian. It feels like an Italian
Like a
kind
giallo
of,
Italian
yeah,
film.
giallo, like a giallo, yes, like Italian slasher kind of, but
And they do
Argento.
a really
It's fucking cool.
They do a
Cool
really
score.
smart thing where they play around with the aspect ratios a lot, and they really
Yeah.
use that stuff well. And they really kind of, there's like a twist ending sort of, and I'm not going to say what that is, but
I love that.
it's worth looking into. It's worth your time.
You had me at
it's-
aspect ratios.
Yeah. Nerd.
I'm not even kidding. Anyway, all right, I'll stop.
But no, listen, you go on to Amazon or whatever you.
No, it sounds rad. Man. I'm definitely gonna check
and
this
watch
out.
it. It's $6, and it's absolutely worth the money.
I'll use my
I gotta
$10
find-
Amazon gift card and have $4
Oh, there you go.
left over.
You have your 10
Yeah.
Bezos to like watch
Oh,
a
thanks,
nice horror film.
Bezos. I gotta
That's
find
about
a friend to watch this with.
that's about 1 nanosecond worth of space travel, right?
You know, for a few $1,000,000, you can make a great movie, which
It's a
brings
bargain.
us.
For our next movie, we have a couple more of these that are 5 million or less.
Yeah, so
Zola.
I started seeing trailers for this in the theater.
Yeah, I wanted to
when
see
we
this
first-
one.
And what really sort of intrigued me watching the trailers, and I didn't know much about it at all, but it just felt like very modern, like almost too modern, like almost like it was like people trying to make stuff with cool hip lingo for the kids and stuff, you know. But what it turns out is that it was actually a true story, and it came about from a tweet storm that happened in 2015 that went viral. And this woman who was a sort of part-time stripper named Isaiah King went on a trip with this girl that she had just met. The whole idea was that they're going to go to Tampa, Florida to go strip and make some money. And basically like that was supposed to be it. But what ended up happening is she got basically pulled into this whole like sex worker ring,
Right.
and like it just turns into this like insane weekend of like debauchery and crime and like double crossing criminals and like robbery and all this money being flown around and like guns getting drawn and
So is it does it actually
it gets really
does it touch on topics that like Black Widow kind of like referred to, but then like actually they commit to, or no?
I mean, no. What it does do is it goes
so sex working, not sex traffic.
Right. It goes into like sort of the modern situation of like the back page websites and like small time prostitution and just sort of the whole like mess that these women get themselves wrapped up in, and like a lot of the like abuse that comes along with that, and like a really neat thing that they did was in the beginning of it they really sort of glamorized the way these women view themselves and view their lives and what they do and like how they feel empowered by like the way that they're sort of like taking a little bit of advantage.
I mean, a
like
big point of this
men.
is the fact that she wrote this and produced it.
Oh, cool. I
well,
didn't know
it's
that.
because of the tweets. Like she's
Zola,
a writer
but
because she tweeted all this stuff out, and that's what became the script. That's
so
why
she also
the
directed
writer.
it as well. No, so who was it?
No,
Isaiah,
no.
I think Isaiah King is the okay. I see.
Yeah,
Isaiah
King wrote it.
The tweeter.
Cool.
And there's other screenwriters and stuff. Like she didn't finish it, but either way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But she created this whole thing because she lived it. And so in the beginning, like I said, they're all empowered and stuff, and then they get wrapped up in this whole prostitution thing, and it gets like ugly, and like people are like lying to them about what's gonna happen to them, and then like there's like not quite rape, but just some really hairy, dangerous situations that they get themselves wrapped up in, and it really kind of like pulls the mask off of like whatever you thought sex work might look like, and it's really well done in that aspect. And there's also like some pretty decent comedy, which sounds weird, but like it's handled really well. So Taylor Page plays Zola. She was in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. She does an amazing job. And Riley Keough, who we've seen before in Mad Max Fury Road, plays Stephanie, the white girl that sort of tricks her into this whole thing. And her boyfriend is Derek. He's played by Nicholas Braun, who you might have seen in Succession. And he's sort of the like comic relief in a way, because like his character is just a dunce, and like he's getting played by Stephanie. Like she lied to him saying that she's not gonna like hook anymore, and like she's basically lying to everybody, and dragging all these people into her just like shitty
Has anybody
world.
else seen this movie, or Tom is the only one? Because I haven't seen this
I
either. I saw
what stinks is that I was supposed to see this with my
it.
wife, because she was like similar to, I think, Tom. She was like, oh, this is like based on his true events, and saw who was involved in it.
Yeah.
And it was playing at only one theater in Boise here, and we could just never make the time work because we'd play one show at like on a Friday night or something. And that's one of the frustrating things about not living in a major market, is it's very difficult to track down these films, especially when they don't give them an online release.
Yeah.
Well, this is available
They closed
on
down
demand
my
now.
movie
now?
theater, so my movie theater closed after COVID. Couldn't afford to keep
Bullshit.
it open.
Oh, wow.
Fucking you got to
That
support
sucks.
them indies. That's why we all got to go back to the movie.
Thankfully, there's plenty around here, so you can catch them in the theaters. But a lot of this stuff is coming out on demand.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the
Well,
thing
I'll
is
definitely
that
watch this one.
theaters are open, so like if you can go see a movie in the theater, just fucking do it. Even
Yeah,
if
and,
it's
like,
a
think
small
about it.
art house theater.
So like tomorrow
it's
war
a different
200
experience.
Tomorrow War $200 million budget, Black Widow $2 million budget for a movie like this for $5 million. If like 1 out of every 5 friends goes and sees this movie, it'll make a ton of money because like it, you know, it doesn't have the budget that it needs to like get that huge market. But like I do feel like a film like this sounds like something interesting and unique.
Yeah,
with
way
big
better than
issues.
the other.
Oh,
And, like,
definitely.
To be honest, like
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're one of those people that's like all movies are the same now and they're all sequels and there's nothing original out anymore, this is fresh.
Yep.
It's original.
See the movie.
It's modern, you know, and it's well done. It looks good. The
Yeah.
performances are good. I mean, if I had to complain about anything at all, it ends kind of abruptly. But really, like, I mean,
But some of the best
That's
films
cool
in
too.
smartly,
history do that.
you know. Yeah.
Well, speaking of,
yeah,
of another fucking amazing, fucking brilliant, like low budget film that several have seen is Pig. This may be my favorite movie of the year.
Okay.
And like,
we should
Lucas is
trying
some
to-
bullshit.
You know,
shit
what
to
I'm going to
talk.
do is I'm going to let you guys talk about what you like about it and why it's good. Because when I saw this movie, I was like, everything about this movie I like, except that I actually live in Portland and did a whole episode on the Truffle Festival in Oregon and in Italy. So like I'm and I know all the I know all the
All right,
restaurateurs.
shut up, nerd.
No,
Listen, let's
Well,
and
hold on,
you
we should
guys are
also
right.
preface
You guys are right. So I'm going to shut up and let you tell people and encourage them to see this film because there's so many things I love about it. So I'm going to shut the fuck up and let you go. And then I'm just going to tell
and then you can go on your tirade.
Then I'll do it. Okay. So I'll shut up for
All
the
right,
next
fine.
5 minutes. I'm going to get
So
another
here-
drink. I'll be back in 1
Did
second.
anybody else see this movie? Ladies, did you get to see this?
No,
I tried quite hard to see this, but it's in
Yeah, it's not.
theaters, I
Yeah,
couldn't
it's
make
only in
time.
theaters, and you're only going to find it. But it'll probably in the next couple of weeks, you'll probably be able to see it on demand. But this
There's
is
rumors it might
you
come
know,
out on Hulu, so we'll see.
That
would
I
be
did hear
good.
the same thing.
So this is Michael
Samofsky is the director of this film,
and I believe he wrote it.
as well. Correct? It's written and directed by the same guy.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's probably the lowest budget movie that we're talking about today. It stars
$3
Nicolas Cage.
Of which, and Nick Cage got 1 million of that 3 million.
Yeah, probably.
So it's really no. I know that
Close.
for a fact.
He did.
And
Okay.
It's literally a $2 million movie plus Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god.
I will say this: that is $1 million fucking well spent. This is probably the best performance Nicolas Cage has ever given. Like,
I also got that kid from her.
this whole movie is a lesson in subtlety in writing, in subtlety in directing, in subtlety in acting. And he's not the only great actor in this film. Alex Wolff, is that his name? Wolff?
Alex Wolff is the performance nobody talks about. He's so goddamn good in this
Guys,
film.
He's amazing.
I have to tell. The thing about Alex Wolff is no, okay, because every time I see him, he's been in all these great movies. He was in Hereditary.
Hereditary is so fucking good in that.
He was in Patriot Day. And he played the bomber from the Boston Marathon bombing.
Well, there was just the thing about that I saw about him today, that he was in Hereditary, that like really fucked him up, like having to perform that.
Yeah,
he's like he'd had like some serious like.
I mean,
shit.
that scene of his head smacking the desk when he's in the classroom and like, yeah. Anyways, this
Brutal.
is the problem. Alex Wolff and his brother were in a kids show on Nickelodeon when I was growing up. They were my age, called the Naked Brothers Band, and they had their own reality TV show about him and his brother.
Did this happen in your mind, Bridget?
No, I swear to God. And they were like, it was like pre One Direction, pre like Big Time Rush.
Wow.
Like, it was like
okay.
So you're saying he's ruined for you. You'll never enjoy it.
He was like 7 or 8 years old. Like, he was
unrecognizable though.
Yeah, but like I knew him as Alex Wolff from the Naked Brothers Band. Like, everyone wanted to go see the Naked Brothers Band. Like, so all of a sudden he showed up in Patriot Day as like literally a terrorist in that movie he's portraying, and I'm like, oh my god, like there's no way. And so like there's like like he lives in 2 separate parts of my brain, very different. And so any movie he's been in, it like ruins it for me. Just like a little
Weird.
bit.
Okay.
It's really weird. It is interesting.
I
I've
don't
never
know.
really had that happen
because
with someone
I don't know
before.
if that would ruin it for you, but he's amazing in this.
Okay. I mean,
Alan Arkin.
I was like,
Yeah.
Alan Alda's dead, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
He's great in this. They re-exhumed his corpse and they just put him in a corner and they use him as a cutaway. It's a budget technique thing.
Alda's not dead.
Alan Arkin?
No, he's not.
It's Adam Arkin, but that's okay.
Adam Arkin. Adam
That's who
Ant.
it is. There's too many Adam Arkins around right now, and I get them confused. He was great in this too. Actually, the whole cast is really good. It's super fucking small film, and I honestly, from the opening frame to the end frame, this movie rocked me. I was like super inspired by just the simple, and really, this is a movie. It reminded me of Llewyn Davis, the Coen brothers.
Oh,
film
hell yeah.
that was really split, but it was basically a character study, and that's exactly
Character study
what
and
this
the,
was.
and that
This
dark
was a character study
tone,
about
yeah.
a man who has been destroyed by culture, and I, I'm not in the Portland food scene. And honestly, I think that was the least important part of this film. But if maybe I would get bugged by that, but
I'm gonna explain afterwards. Once
movie,
you all sing its praises, I'll
it's-
say what bothers
I don't
me.
know, man. I just love this film. It's fucking amazing. And
Here's one
see
thing that really stands out for me is that, like, in the past decade or so, obviously Nick Cage has been in like 500,000 movies, and most of them, the whole like thing that you go to see is the Nick Cage freaking out scene.
Yeah, the Cage rage,
or Nick Cage like just murdering a room full of people while screaming.
Mandy, which is an incredible
And
film. Everybody
drunk.
should see that one.
Absolutely, yeah.
with
But
a
here's
bottle
the
of
thing,
Jack
like,
Daniels shoved up his butthole. Like,
right, but
you're just waiting
the
for that.
trailer for this movie is like that his pig gets stolen and he's going after his pig.
Yeah,
so
it's a
like
truffle
the
pig. That
expectation,
looks
the
for
expectation that they
mushrooms.
set up here is that Nick Cage is going to go fuck some people up over this pig, and
Right.
they subvert your expectations so well. Like, I was waiting for the moment when Nick Cage freaked out, and like, I mean, he does a tiny little bit for a second, but like,
But when he does what they
yeah.
amazingly do, they cut out the sound. When he has that real
That's
emotion,
bold.
it's
Okay.
this movie. He's amazing at it. It's
So everything you guys are
ridiculous.
saying is right, and I want anybody who's listening to this podcast, like, you should see this film, especially if you're not in the Portland food scene. Like, even friends of mine who live in Portland, I asked them, "Did you see it?" They're like, "Oh, I thought it was wonderful. It was totally weird and interesting." I have friends who worked on it, who did like different crew, whether it's like for the photography or for the just location stuff. So like, not only is it made by a lot of people from Portland, like a lot of people even from the area adore it. I'm not one of those people. And so listen to Nick and Tom. Don't listen to me. Go see the damn film and judge for yourself for sure.
They definitely don't listen to Lucas.
But no, but what I'm going to tell you is it's the idea of suspension.
Earmuffs.
The suspension of disbelief. So like, I use this as an example. Do you remember seeing the movie Bruce Almighty?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a scene in Bruce Almighty where he's stuck in traffic in downtown Buffalo and he's
Wait,
freaking
are
out.
you comparing the Portland food scene to the Heaven Almighty?
Just wait. So he's stuck in
Okay.
traffic, right?
Yes.
In the scene. And
We're going
and
somewhere.
those of us who live in Buffalo are like, that doesn't happen. There's no like rush hour traffic in downtown Buffalo. Nobody fucking works there. So whoever wrote that
Right.
script has never been to Buffalo. They just set it in Buffalo. And then they just, instead of visiting Buffalo and being like, shit, I guess I got this detail wrong. Maybe I should write a different, more inspiring scene that actually makes sense for the place. That's how you solve a problem as a good writer. Instead, what they did is they took a premise that somebody would have a truffle pig, which is fucking ridiculous. People don't use truffle pigs, especially in Portland. Like, sure, you can. So a suspension of disbelief. Fine, this guy has a pig that can find truffles. They can do it.
Did you miss that point in the movie where he's like, I don't need the
Oh,
pig?
you mean at the end? Yeah, I was aware of it before he fucking said it. Because I'm like, okay, you don't really need a truffle pig, but fine, you have a truffle pig. Sure. I'll
Dude, but
accept
that's the
it.
whole fucking point of it.
Wait a second.
You love that
Nick,
pig.
I'm not even done yet. I'm just getting started. So then, okay, so he has a pig, fine. And then this fucking dude shows up in a Lambo. I'm like, first of all, nobody owns Lamborghinis in Portland. Like, they're not showy in Portland. Nobody's riding around in Lambos, especially people who work.
Not even a flannel colored one.
No. Well, if he showed up, listen, if Alex Wolff showed up in flannel in a Lambo, I would have been a little more believable. But I'm like,
Flannel
okay,
Lambo.
fine. Suspension of disbelief, fine. He owns a Lamborghini in Portland. But then, like, all of a sudden, like, they keep going deeper into the food scene. Oh, and then the tweakers are like, we're going to get the pig back. And I'm like, tweakers don't give a fuck about a pig. Like, every little detail they were adding in was just, like, not real. And then, like, they were in the Portland. Remember, they went to the caves and there was, like, a fight club going on. And I'm like, yeah, the caves. Everybody knows about the fucking caves. Like, you can go on a tour of the caves. Like, that you do. Like, there were, like, old tunnels that were built. There's nothing, like mysterious about it. And the truffle scene, like, truffles are not worth any money in Portland. Like, it's not a big thing. Like, there's no such thing as like a truffle trade. I filmed with the truffle festival people. They're a bunch of nerds. Like, they're trying to make truffles cool, but they'll never be cool. There's no market for it. So, like, truffles in Alba, Italy sell for like thousands of dollars. If this film was set in Italy, in Alba, Italy, I would believe every little bit of this. They love Lamborghinis in Italy. They love fast cars. Truffles sell for crazy money.
They love truffles.
People have truffle dogs, and like, and they covet their little spots. Like, that actually exists somewhere in the world in Italy. And I'm like, did the writers of this, like, was it set in Italy? Then they were like, me want to shoot in America, so they made it take place in Oregon. Like, every little detail there was like just off. And so I just couldn't believe a fucking word of it. Like, none of it worked.
So the lesson here today, folks, is don't be grumpy like Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
the idea is like,
got a point. Emily's got a point.
What they did when they finished the script was they said there's a couple of details here that don't really match up with Portland, Oregon, with the truffle trade that doesn't exist there apparently. And they said, oh well, how big of a deal is it going to be? And they're like, well,
Lucas is going to be
buddy Lucas, who's been to Portland before a couple of times apparently, is not going to be happy about this.
Okay,
first and then they were like, okay, well, that's only one ticket. We can make back those like that $15.
No, but first off, like, Julie, like, if you ever actually lived and worked in a place and somebody tries to tell that story and butchers it and doesn't do it right, because I feel like any of these things, they could have just changed the script to actually fit the reality, and it wouldn't have affected anything that Nick described. And that's the thing, is Nick's not wrong and Tom's not wrong. You're not wrong, Emilia. This could have been a great script and was, in a way, for people, but you don't have to also bullshit and lie and just make shit up and have it be effective. So, like, watching it, I'm like, you obviously never spent any time in the fucking culinary world. There's no rich, like, wealthy mogul fucking restaurateurs. Like, the Gorhams, who had like 4 restaurants, like, closed up shop and moved to the middle of the state because you just don't make a lot of money. So, like,
I really
I
could
never spend any time on Thanos's planet, have you?
But the thing is, like,
ever.
The thing is, though,
it's obvious from this rant.
What you guys aren't hearing, though, is the suspension of disbelief.
You ever been to Thanos's home world?
So these are great examples. You can suspend disbelief because Thanos is so out of this world. But when it's something that you actually live and work in, you're like, if you don't get the details,
I think that we just like unlocked a new level of geek on Lucas's part.
No,
like,
Lucas,
it's like
Lucas
level
right.
achieved.
No, he's right. And I really want to be on his side.
We get
but
it.
Lucas,
You like
second,
Portland, man.
But the second you're like, anybody who's ever spent time in the culinary world of truffles, like, it's hard to take you seriously, even though I do desperately want to be on your side.
Well, the thing that you're describing is true. There's no culinary world of truffles in America. It doesn't exist.
Here's
it's
not a real the other thing is,
but it existed in Pig.
It exists in this fantasy movie called Pig.
Listen. Movies is all about suspension of disbelief.
That's what I'm saying.
The pig, did Babe really go to the city? Babe, pig in the city. Did he really take the high life? No, but we believed it as a film. Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Little.
Is you all could
what really happened is he took a Miller highlight.
No, but you literally can. What I'm saying is you all can suspend disbelief. I wish I could. I can't. I can't take it seriously. It's all silly to me, and I'm like, it doesn't emotionally resonate because it seems like bullshit. And I wish I could because everything else.
I'm gonna spend a weekend with you and make you eat shitty food and watch Pig until you like it, Lucas.
I'm gonna make you guys go visit Portland, and you'll be like, wow, the Truffle Festival's lame. How did they make a script out of this shit? Like, wow, people are fighting over truffles.
I would be like, Jesus Christ, whoever made a script out of this stupid festival is a genius.
Well, if they made, listen, they made you guys happy. I'm fine with that. We can disagree on movies, but honestly, I could not enjoy this one. I wanted to, I couldn't do it. I was like laughing at it.
Stay tuned for Lucas's other review about how the Muppets did not take Manhattan.
Honestly, man, that is more believable. That's more believable than killing people over truffles in Oregon.
I'm just saying, nobody's killing anybody. I ain't seen Kermit around on my daily commute.
Oh, yeah.
I did do a shoot with a Swedish chef before. And Kermit. And Miss Piggy on the red carpet.
Did it?
I love them.
So anyway, listen to everybody else. Don't listen to me.
Movies.
See the film, but honestly, I'm right on this one. Sorry.
But there's stuff.
Big point is go to the movies physically.
Yeah, go to the movies and see it.
Buy a ticket.
That's the only place you can see Pig right now, and if you can find it in your area, I highly recommend it. Same with Censor. I mean, most of these movies, except for Tomorrow War, just don't even bother.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours long.
Yeah, it's very long. If you're looking for like a big blockbuster to watch, I go see Jungle Cruise.
Ooh, well, we'll review that one.
Yeah,
I'll be glad to rip that apart.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. But go to the movies, go buy a ticket, go get some popcorn, do what you got to do. Support your local theaters.
Go find us on screenradar.com and, like in iTunes and all those places you find.
Yes, you can follow us anywhere. Here we go.
Yeah.
Follow us at Screen Radar on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also find us on Letterboxd, where we like to rank and
I haven't done that
rate
in a while.
Lots of different films. Lucas, I expect at least 3 paragraphs about Pig, at least minimally.
I'm gonna give it
and if
2.5
you look right down
stars.
here, here's my address. You can follow me outside of my apartment while I walk my dog.
Oh my gosh. And also too, make sure to stream Film Dorks podcast on Spotify,
and
Apple Podcasts, literally
wherever you find
your
podcast can be found is the line.
Exactly. Go stream it. Listen, we got a lot of great ones out there still. So and more to come.
More to come. Lastly, what are we doing next, guys? We got to decide.
We don't know
offline, but I feel like we got to get back into some. I see Tom has a Creature of the Black Lagoon. Maybe we do like monsters, classic monsters again.
We can go back to monsters.
Ooh. Or we can always do, if you guys, I know Lucas keeps bringing up, you want to do a dive of someone. We did John Carpenter the last time.
Which we never finished, but yeah,
I'd
be into another deep dive on a director.
All right, we'll find something.
All right.
It'll be entertaining enough.
It'll be fine. It'll be
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Take care. Bye, Internet.
Bye.